Hey friends, welcome back to the Dynamo. Okay, so I'm doing essentially Continental Cup competitions part 2, but I'm going to introduce you to something that British and Irish people could introduce into their saves so as to get more quality of competition for your regions in like your Northern Ireland, your Wales and your Ireland, but also just to play around with the editor into something that can also be a fun competition for your Premier League teams to play around with. So as always, load game, load database. So we're going to do a British and Irish competition. So open this up here. First thing, competitions. I'm just going to load the Champions League. It's the easiest thing to do. Champions. There you go. Okay, so duplicate. Now I want to change some of these background colors. So I'm going to go, just throw green there, green and blue. That should be okay. So I want to change it to the British and Irish Champions Cup. Have I spelled that correctly? I have not spelled Irish correctly. Champions Cup. I haven't spelled British correctly either. B-R-I-T-I-S-H. Okay. This is the British and Irish Cup. B-I-C. Now, I'm going to change this to, say, 120. So it's important, but it's not incredibly important. Go down here, Cup Winners' Cup. Where's it? Yeah, we'll go Club Champion Cup. And everything else here is okay. And then just Control-C, copy that. Now rules, Continental Cup. And switch this to like June, because it's automatically set to January, but that'll reset in the middle of a lot of your European leagues, so it'll stop you and it'll make you re-go again. So Qualification Systems nation, you're going to put in your 5 nations here. Let's name England. Wait, let me just get a region. What's it? There you go. That's so much easier. Scotland and Wales. Okay. Now, the competition I have in mind that could be fun is 5 groups of 5. So you have 5 nations, and I want to draw in 5 teams. So you're going to have 5 groups with 1 team from each nation in there. And then basically the top 2 from each group, so that'd be 10 teams in total, qualify to a championship league table. So it'll be 9 games, everyone plays each other once, top team wins. There you go, simple competition. So number, I want 5 teams, first nation is 1, last nation is 5. There we go. Now, qualify competitions, this will be our British and Irish Cup. And seeding to give team, an important thing to remember is this seeding to give team is determining, you have here, teams at lower seeding values enter the competition later. So that seeding is not for the seeding to kind of like do like first team, second team, third seeding in how you have like a Champions League draw. That seeding is dependent on European coefficient. This is entirely depending upon when teams enter the competition itself. I want everyone entering at the same time. You would set this differently if you wanted X amount of teams to enter at like a first stage and then X amount of teams to enter at a group stage that'll be populated, the rest of those groups populated by that qualification stage. We don't want that here. We just want everyone coming in at the same stage, so they're given the exact same seeding. Now go to cups. Add the Champions Cup here, and it's 25 teams. 5 5s is 25. Okay, 2 stages. First going to be a group stage. 5 groups of 5. Go on, we'll add this. 4, 1, matches between teams. There you go, copy. I'm going to have this run from October to December. And that's all good. Okay, number of teams starting is 25. Number qualifying is going to be 10. And then that's all good. Yeah, now you go over here, and I want this to be a league table. Number of rounds 1. Yeah, they're fine. Apologies for all the coughing. Okay, league. So paste. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump this up. So matches between teams will be the deciding factor. And because you only have one game in that league table here, that'll not really be much of an issue. So that doesn't matter. And here, have it from February to March. Or February to May. We'll go 15 to May. Go on. Yeah, why not? Okay. So the next thing to do is you need to assign stage names. So name, this is going to be the group stage. Ground. Why is my spelling? My spelling's been awful this video. Group stage. And for the league stage, I want this to be called the championship. There we go. Championship. Okay, so this should be fine. Test, yeah, all are valid. So save data as, and just go B and I, B and I C. the little, no, fuck it, I was going to launch it something else. Okay, so now, just to make this more interesting, I'm going to go over to advanced rules and play around with a few things. Convert to advanced rules, yep, that's fine. Okay, so this is cup. We want to go down here to club competition, just so that it has the actual look of the cup itself. At least I think that's what that does. But what I want to do is stages, go to that league stage, and we have league setting. Can always be hard to find exactly what you're looking for. No, it's in league. Here we go, general. So I want stadium, and I want I want neutral here. Okay, so that's neutral stadiums, meaning I'm not using the home stadiums for anyone involved. And can I get... Here we go, stadium rules. So stadium pool. So restrict neutral stadiums to stadium pool. And I want that stadium pool itself to, I'm going to pull 4 stadiums from Ireland, 4 stadiums from Scotland, 4 from Wales, 4 from England. So it just, you get a nice stadium pool to use from, because if you don't set this, it'll pull random stadiums from the region set to the actual competition itself, which in this case is set to Europe. So you could end up having some group stages played in like Turkey or like Israel or like Sweden, which is cool for European competition, but for an actual British and Irish competition, I want it to be pulling stadiums from Britain and Ireland. So here, stadium, I'm going to go nation contains Ireland. Wait, no, just from the island of Ireland. Just so much easier. Okay, so we're going to go Croke Park. What I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this by 3. There you go. Now I can just amend each of these. So Croke Park, the Aviva Stadium, and now 2 from Northern Ireland if I can. There you go. So Windsor Park, and take the Oval. Okay, so now we're going to just duplicate by 4. And now we're going to pull 4 from Scotland. Murrayfield, Celtic Park, Hampden Park, and Ibrox. Now the same duplicate times 4. I'm going to do this for Wales. So the Millennium Stadium, my hands down favourite stadium everywhere in the world. I'm a Munster rugby fan. I've had many, many, many happy memories in that stadium. Cardiff City Stadium. Where's this? Liberty Stadium, and then Neenan Park. Neenan Park, there we go. And now, let's go to the big ones. So I've got 4. And England. So Wembley. Old Trafford. Why is it all the big stadiums are in London? Tottenham. And the Emirates? Yeah, the Emirates. Okay, so there we go. We got all of our stadiums that are specific and allowed. Okay, so another thing you can do if you want, just to make it fun, is you could just select a designated neutral stadium for each country, and then select, like, Ireland's is the Aviva, Northern Ireland's is Windsor, Scotland's is Hampden Park, what's called England's is Wembley, and Wales is the Millennium Stadium. So that can be a fun way to do that, because you have your 5 neutral venues, and they're decent capacities, except for Windsor Park, so only like 18,000. But you then get your monetary revenue, and you can put that into the prize pot, so that can be fun. So now that we've all this done, so you save again. I'm just gonna BNIC or something I always do. And now validate rules. Let's see if all this tests okay. These take that little bit longer than a normal competition. While we're waiting, just listen to the music, I guess. I have no idea if that's even good music. Almost there. There we go. Okay, that all tested fine. So now let's just fire it up into a game so you can actually see what it looks like in practice. So career, open here, BICAR. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to load, go on, yeah, I'll load a Northern Irish team just for the fun of it. So start in first match of the Champions League. Jesus, their competition kicks off really late. In October. Okay, let's pull in September, 7th of September. I think what I might do is once I'm finished this, I'm going to record a video just how to do like novelty competitions, like the Emirates Cup and things like that, because you'd go into other cups to do them, and they can be quite fun just to pepper into your pre-seasons. Like you had the International Champions Cup for a while, which was a lot of fun, which I remember downloading a database to put that into the competition. And while I like the idea in principle, I find in practice you just get a hectic pre-season and you don't really get to blood young players. Okay, let's go. And there we go. A lovely thing here is because these competitions count as European competitions, but a lot of the smaller teams don't end up qualifying for a lot of the bigger competitions. The Continental Cup that it'll show here, Continental Competition, will be the highest rating competition they're in. Just in case you're ever worried about that blanking out like the Champions League. What this does here, I love this. This is just so cool for me. So now you have one from each. And the reason it does this is because you have everyone coming in at the same, seed ranking. Where is this? Teams. There you go. They're all coming in at the same seed. So you have all of those teams pulling one from each. And in required teams, you have minimum teams here. And like this section sets up the league structure within a country and the expected number of teams to play within each division or sub-competition. If a maximum value is set above a minimum value, any teams within the range of these two numbers is acceptable. So you have like minimum 5, maximum of 10. It'll pull between 5 and 10. if only a minimum is set, it must meet that criteria. So I have minimums of 5 set here, so it has to pull 5 from each. And because they all have the same seeding, this is where it gets important then, because we go into British and Irish Cup, go into stage, group, where is it? Group settings, here we go. Avoid teams from same nation. That's an important quantity because it then allocates, there are 5 groups and 5 teams from each nation. So of course it has to populate them with a Welsh, English, Northern Irish, Scottish, Irish. So you end up with a fun version of this competition where you then get kind of like a nice bit of a round robin between the home nations and the Irish competitions in here. So like you have Celtic, Cliftonville, that Welsh, Leicester and Sligo Rovers. Like there's an interesting competition there. But the reason I like this is because if you're playing as like a Welsh or an Irish game, the Scottish teams are already so much better than you. So you have a second place to build towards taking them. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to sim forward a little bit. I shouldn't have to... Okay, no, what I'm actually going to do is... I should have just loaded in as Ireland. That would have been so much easier. I'm going to, because this will probably just be quicker, I'm going to start a new game with Ireland because they start off in January. So the group stage will have already concluded. So you'll see how it pulls that that championship group at the very end together. So we're just going to load, oh, that's fine. We're just going to load that in so you can see what that looks like. And I've tried to set this up so you avoid... I've had this problem happen to me. Oh, it's like, I wanted to start. Here we go. 8 of the second. I've had this problem happen to me the odd time where like the first season pulls fine, second season pulls fine, third season it'll pull like 6 English clubs instead of 5, and that means that one of those, like, it'll only pull 4 Welsh teams instead of 5 Welsh teams. So you end up with a group that has 2 English teams, and I hate that. I don't like that because that then it ends up with you get your 2 top spots dominated by the same nation, which just leads to a very boring second round. I think how you do that is by, one, having this like that. Oh, you can also play with numbers like north, south, blah, blah, blah. I leave it the way it is. I think what causes that problem is in Europe, European settings here. I think it's in that teams. I think if you were to try to be cute here and do like 1 and then duplicate this by 4 and then do 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, and then give a different seeding to each of these. Like, a reason why you might do this is because if you think that it's going to be like, okay, I'm going to give all of the English teams 1 seeding and then all of the Welsh teams a different seeding, and then they will seed them independently. It's like, that's not how this works, because what this seeding is for determining when teams come into a competition. So you have English teams coming in first, and at the very bottom, like that fifth number is whatever is the 5th nation in terms of reputation. So that would be Scotland. Really? Scotland is the lowest reputation? Sorry, that's just so weird to me. Okay, so you will end up pulling more English teams than Welsh teams. I think that is what's going to happen there, and especially because when you go into British and Irish Cup, you've got the stages back here as the group settings. Seeded draw, reputation to seed teams, avoid seed teams from same nation. I think it just gets confused and doesn't really know what to do from there. So let's pull back here so you can see how this looks. Did any of the Irish teams make it through? Oh, only Shamrock Rovers from the looks of it. Okay, so Shamrock Rovers. So let's go group stage. And you can see Man United Celtic, Celtic Aberdeen, Liverpool Motherwell. And you can see, and you can kind of see how like the Irish teams tend to be the 3rd place teams. Except for here, because they got just past Livingston. But the Irish are Bohemians, Dundalk. Which, like, for an Irish game, this can be really fun because it means you're trying to topple those Scottish teams to get into that championship group, and this can be incredibly lucrative. Okay, so like Man United schedule, so that British and Irish Cup, neutral stadium, unknown stadium. That's interesting. Okay, let's find out if that's happened in other places. So that's playing at Ibrox Stadium. Okay, so where am I going? So we'll go Shamrock Rovers, their neutral game. British and Irish Cup against Leicester was an unknown stadium. Okay, that's That's interesting to me. I don't know why it's doing that. We'll go Aberdeen. Man United was that. Okay, so if in hindsight, with advice, I would just not bother with this. I would just not bother with this at all, if I'm being bluntly honest, because it's probably just going to pull you up some weird instances where, like you have here, you have Unknown Stadium. So that'll just get rid of that, but it'll end up with you pulling from like European stadiums, which, you deal with and you move on. But it's not ideal, but you deal with it. But there you go. That's me throwing together a British and Irish Cup. And I like the idea of just like that championship group at the very end, where you end up having that competition for places, and top team wins obviously, and you can then go into like a money setting and do, where is it, final ranking money, where you can pop in here and just give cash money for like, you'll put in a few, and then these will allocate them based off of rankings, like where in the competition they end up. Depending on their final position. Yeah, okay, yeah. Playing around with these is just, that's how you get good at the editor, to be honest. Just play around with all the different settings, and like, it won't let you mess it up, because if something goes wrong, the editor just won't let you verify and send it off to the actual main game proper. So you don't have to worry about messing up. It's getting it to this stage can be annoying and awkward. So anyway, I'm going to let you go. Next video will be me just making some novelty competitions like the Emirates Cup and things like that. Maybe even do like an Anfield Cup and an Old Trafford Cup, because they can be fun. Or could even do create a fictional competition called the Messi Cup, where it'll be Newell Old Boys, PSG and Barcelona just basically play in a league table where they all play each other once. It's called the Messi Cup. So yeah, have fun. Talk to you later. Bye bye.